Welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. I am your host, Colton Smith, or Left Turn Central, here joined by co-host Brandon Bull Davis and co-host Ben Miller. Fellas, we are here. It is time. We are under a week from NASCAR racing being back. The off season, it doesn't feel like incredibly long, but boy, does it feel so long when it gets to this portion of the schedule. It feels like, it should be here right now, but it is here. And we are here today to preview the 2026 Cup Series season. We've done it for the O'Reilly Series. We've done it for the Truck Series. Now it is time for us to go to each and every Cup Series team, talk about their season last year a little bit, preview this upcoming season, give you our bold predictions, who we think is going to make it to the playoffs, and then eventually give you our 2026 champions. So get ready for that. We'll also start off with a little Roval talk because that just dropped today, the announcement that there will be no more Roval. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it, starting with the announcement that the Charlotte Roval will be no longer happening. It will be a oval layout starting this playoff series. I actually thought it was starting next season, but no, it is this season that we will be returning to the Charlotte Oval. This notably means that we will not have a road course in the playoffs, to my knowledge, unless Watkins Glen is still in there, but I don't think it is. Regardless, that is a big win for most of the NASCAR community. Bull is aware that I'm not fully behind it, but I don't hate it. Like, I'm not disappointed that we get a second Charlotte race. I'm just kind of disappointed that we are no longer getting that special, really fun to me Roval race, which didn't always hit, but when it did, it hit like crack. But Bull, what are your thoughts?
So I love the announcement. And to me, it says more about the oval than it does the Roval. The racing has been so good at the Charlotte Oval lately and mile and a halfs in general. That's been the best form of racing that NASCAR's had. Why not give us another race for on a mile and a half track? It's been the Coke 600 the last couple years has been phenomenal. The mile and a half races in general, Kansas, been great. So give me more of that. The road course racing has took a stumble, I think, with this new car. So to me, this announcement says more about the oval than it does the Roval in general.
Yeah, yeah, Bull. I completely agree with you. I mean, like you said, I mean, the mile and a half races this year, in this next gen car have been absolutely great. I mean, I think about the Coke 600, like you mentioned, great race. I think about Kansas. I mean, with this next gen car, we needed to get two Charlotte races back on the schedule, oval wise. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like this announcement for sure because I feel like with this next gen car, the road course racing, it just really hasn't been that good. I mean, there's not really a lot of action, not a lot of passing, but now that we're getting the Charlotte Oval back in the chase, I think that's going to be some fun racing to watch. And as a fan, I can't wait to tune in. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of my memory is jaded by that beautiful, beautiful Roval race where Chase Elliott came back from the back of the pack and won. And then with the most entertaining, I think, celebration, stood on the car, hit it with one of these. And yeah, just that race will forever be in my memory. So that means I have a better memory of the Roval than most people. And I will agree that since the next gen era, road course racing pretty much everywhere but Watkins Glen has gone incredibly down in terms of watchability. So I do understand why they're making this move. And, I don't fully not support it. I pretty well support it, but yeah. Anyways, with that little nugget out of the way, news is picking up, but we are going to give one last look to preview this season with the Cup Series. So let's go ahead and get this started with Ben. What do you got?
All right. All right. So, guys, starting off, we're going to start off with Rick Ware Racing. Cody Ware will be back in the number 51 Chevrolet this season. They go from they go from Ford to Chevy going into 2026. So, just to talk about Cody Ware's 2025 stats, he had 0 wins, 0 top fives, 0 top tens, with an average finish of 30.4, had an average start of 34.9, and had a total of 11 DNFs last season. That's a stat right there. But talking about his expectations and predictions in 2026, I mean, the first thing that's on my mind is he needs to finish races. I mean, he needs to, like I mentioned, the 11 DNFs, he needs to try to bring that number down. I feel like he needs to improve his average finish from 2025. So finishing races will be beneficial towards that. And I expect him to show some more flashes on the super speedways. I know I talk about it quite often on the show, but I feel like he's going to show a lot of flashes this year on the super speedways. I mean, we saw it last year in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona, where he led a total of 23 laps and looking like he was going to pull off an upset. So if he's at the end of these super speedway races, fellas, do not be surprised. I mean, I I definitely believe in Cody Ware can get it done on one of these super speedways. So we'll have to see what happens in 2026 for sure.
I'm curious to see if Cody Ware makes a reappearance in your bold predictions that you've laid out, because you've been teasing it.
If he's
It's
not,
been
I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, the clip
We
will
shall
be
see.
ruined.
And, I'll start with HAAS. In 2025, they had the number 41 of Cole Custer, finished 42nd in the standings, 0 wins, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, average start of 23.64, and an average finish of 23.58. Custer will return to the 41 in 2026. And just like Ben mentioned, big news coming out of HAAS is that they will be transitioning to Chevy from Ford. I do think this is going to take them some time to get used to the Chevy equipment, and they will have a struggling year this year. I think it's going to take them some time to get used to that and get the support that they need there. So I do not expect much from HAAS this year.
Moving on to another one-car organization. I completely agree, by the way, Bull. Hyak, Hawk-Tua Motorsports, as I like to call him. Ricky Stenhouse, the 47. What an iconic duo, those two. 2025, he had 0 wins. It's actually the first time since 2022 he went without a win in the season. He had 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s, along with an average finish of 22.9. Statistically, that's his worst season since 2021. And even then, he sported a much better average finish that year. Really, it didn't look like that was the direction that this season was going for Ricky. When you look at the beginning for the 47 team, the first season of Hyak Motorsports, after the Coke 600, he was 13th in the point standings, had a 16.8 average finish, 9 top 20 finishes. And then when you look at the rest of the season from that point, 23 races, had a 26.3 average finish, just got 6 top 20s. He had 9 in 13 races, or 16 math. Come on, 13 races. I had it right the first time. He had 9 top 20s in the first 13 races. Only got 6 the rest of the 23 races. He dropped to 30th in the point standings from 13th. Just an absolute collapse. This isn't nothing new from Ricky Stenhouse. I don't expect him to put together a 36 race season. He's really only done that once or twice in his career. But this is an absolute bombing of a season there to finish it up. I'd say in 2026, the goal for Ricky and Hyak is to find some consistency as a team, maybe look back to what you were doing to start the year in 2025 and try to hit some of those points and get back on track.
I remember us talking about halfway through the year when we were talking about him making the playoffs, making a run, and it just went downhill fast.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely can't be in the teens in the standings and then just drop down to 30th. I mean, definitely got to clean that up. But moving on to my second team, I have Legacy Motorclub. Their drivers this year will be John Hunter Nemechek back in the number 42 Toyota and Eric Jones in the number 43 Toyota. So starting off with John Hunter Nemechek, talking about his 2025 stats, he had 0 wins, 2 top 5s, 8 top 10s, led a total of 37 laps with an average finish of 20th, all career highs, finishing 25th in the standings. And my expectations for John Hunter Nemechek in 2026 is try to build off those career highs. I mean, I think he has the ability to get consistent top 10, top 15 finishes. I feel like he's going to show some more consistent speed, and don't be surprised. I mean, he could contend to get his first career Cup Series win. I mean, in a way, I feel like that he is due. He's got the talent for it, and it would not surprise me one bit. And I feel like he and crew chief Chris Mack have formed a great chemistry, and I feel like they can do some stuff. They can do some really good stuff on the racetrack. So, yeah, I expect John Hunter Nemechek to try to build off those career highs, like I mentioned, and try to put together some good finishes. And who knows, maybe a win. All right, moving on to Eric Jones. He had 0 wins, 4 top fives, 5 top tens with an average finish of 20.1 and finished 24th in the standings. Showed improvement from the 2024 season. But my expectations for Eric Jones in 26 is build off that momentum in 2025. Showed great speed at the end of the season last year, continued to get consistent top 20 finishes. And when you look at Legacy Motorclub as a whole, I feel like they're getting stronger. They're taking it step by step. I mean, feel like they're going to build off to get more top 10 finishes. And I feel like maybe this is a year that he breaks that long winless streak to try to get back into victory lane. So those are my expectations for both John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones and Legacy Motor Club. So it's going to be fun to watch as a Legacy fan.
John Hunter Nemechek is a prospect I have been high on for a while. You can check the receipts on my channel. His path going from front row and really showing the flashes at front row, and then betting on himself to go back down to KBM and work his way back up through the Toyota pipeline has brought him here to this point. I completely agree. I think he could definitely win a race this year. If at the right place, Darlington being probably on the high list of those places. Eric Jones is also a driver I think has been shafted in the past, especially by Toyota. So I would like to see him also, get that. And I like his crew chief, Randall Burnett. I think is who they picked up this season to crew chief. Was it Randall Burnett? Maybe not. I know it's a former Dillon. Is it Justin Alexander?
I believe so. Yeah.
Justin Alexander. Okay, sorry, wrong RCR crew chief there.
All good.
But regardless, I think that's a really nice pairing there, because when Austin Dillon was at his best was when Alexander was on the crew chief, and there was a lot of things holding back that 3-car in the RCR camp. So I'd like to see what Alexander can do with a fresh start, with a new team, and with a talented driver in Eric Jones. I'm actually really excited for Legacy this year.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to Kaulig. In 2025, they had Ty Dillon in the 10, AJ Allmendinger in the 16, Will Brown driving the 13 part-time. Ty Dillon, he made us all become fans during the in-season tournament challenge when he made that huge run, but then took it all away in the playoffs when he destroyed William Byron. Finished 33rd in the driver standings, 0 wins, 0 top fives, 1 top 10, an average start of 25.94, and an average finish of 24.58. AJ Allmendinger finished 26th in the driver standings, 0 wins, 2 top fives, 7 top tens, with an average start of 16.75 and an average finish of 21.36. Ty Dillon and AJ will both be returning to 2026 to Kaulig, and then they'll also have the 13 running some events as well. For 2026, I honestly don't expect much out of Kaulig. I don't think they're going to have the manufacturer support that they've been having with making the switch to Ram in the Truck Series. So I don't have high expectations for them as well. And I do expect the Dodge to make that move to Cup in a couple years. So I don't think they're going to be getting much help in the Cup Series going forward.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. Moving on to front row, it'll be curious to see when Dodge makes that jump, because allegedly the door is still open for them to be in the Cup Series in 2027, but unlikely at this point. Regardless, talking about front row racing, it's been quite the journey for them. 2025 was the first season that they fielded 3 full-time drivers, and the results were very mixed. I think we expected a jump, and we didn't really get that. Noah Gragson fielded the expansion car in the number 4, regressed considerably from what was a quietly impressive 2024 season with SHR in its last year as an organization. He had 0 wins, of course, 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, a 25th place average finish, and was the 34th ranked driver. It's down about 9 to 10 spots from what he was running at SHR the year prior. Todd Gilliland had nearly identical stats from year to year, but fell from a 22nd points finish in 24 to 27th in 2025. He improved by just a hair over his 2024 counting stats in terms of top fives and whatnot and average finish. And then Zane Smith, he started to get a lot of credit for his improvement from an atrocious 2024 campaign, but still finished 28th in points behind Gillen with the same amount of top fives and top tens and just slightly worse average finish. So all in all, I think, like I said to start, improvement was expected, and we did not get that. Pretty much stayed stagnant other than Zane Smith showing some flashes. It is obviously worth noting that Front Row was involved in a somewhat popular lawsuit on NASCAR, which no doubt affected their money flow, probably some of the focus behind the scenes. Now they have that excuse gone for the 2026 season, so I want to see some improvements. Noah Gragson, show this team why they should keep you. 8 DNFs last season. Clean that up. Only finished on the lead lap half of the races. Clean that up. 2 controllable factors that can make a world of difference. Get back to where we know you can be. I mean, this guy won 8 races in the Xfinity Series. I don't care. And I say the same thing about Ty Gibbs. I don't care what the excuse is. You have the talent. You just need to find it. You need to be comfortable. And I think he has the potential to be a top 25 driver in the field. I know that doesn't sound very good, but compared to where he was last year, I think that's the bar that needs to be set for Noah Gragson. Find your way into the top 25 in points and work your way up. Todd Gilliland in the 34. You were expected to be the leader of this team, and while by a fraction you fulfilled that promise, you took a step back amongst the rest of the field. In fairness, the gap from 22nd back on was very close, within like 100 or so points. But Front Row has gone seemingly a team on the rise, back to just another mid-back team thanks to the departure of Michael McDowell. And I want to see Gilliland fill this void, fighting for a spot in the top 20 this year. Zane Smith, 38, could make that leap. It's very easy to forget just how much hype surrounded Zane Smith to start his career. I admittedly was never very high on him, but I do think the last season and the second half of his rookie year, he showed the growth and speed to stick around in the Cup Series. The growth is the key point here. I feel, to me, that the 26-year-old has done nothing but improve since he's joined the Cup Series. So I challenge him to continue that trend, try to take a stab at the best average finish in Front Row history, which is 19th by Michael McDowell. He set that in 2023. As for Front Row as a whole, just try to regain the ground you lost to teams like Legacy and Spire, who now fit that exciting team on the rise rule that Front Row just had a couple years ago.
If you remember, Noah Gragson, when he was winning all the races in the Xfinity Series, his first year in Cup, he was the wild boy. He had the mullet. He was letting the chest hair out. He was out drinking beer with fans. You don't see that anymore. And his production also went down. So let the boy go out, have fun again. Let him go out, drink beer with the fans, go out, have a better performance. There's got to be some kind of correlation to him having fun on and off the track and his performance.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Noah Gragson can do in 2026, because I believe he's got the talent. He's a great race car driver. I mean, he proved it in Xfinity, but he has to try to finish on the lead lap and try to get those less DNFs. But just to talk about Todd Gilliland and Zane Smith real quick, I mean, yeah, I expect Todd Gilliland to try to be that leader at Front Row Motorsports, because I feel like he's a great driver as well. I mean, he's a great super speedway racer. I mean, he shows flashes at the super speedways, and I expect to see that from him more in the 34 car, because he's come close numerous times. I think Daytona, Atlanta, Talladega, where he finished runner-up to Chase Briscoe. And the one that I'm most excited for is definitely Zane Smith. I mean, he's improved. He's improved in 2 years in the Cup Series, like you mentioned, Colton. And I mean, this is another driver that's really, really talented. I mean, he showed a lot of flashes. I mean, he almost won Atlanta last year, and He ran really well at Bristol, getting a third place finish. So he's definitely outran that front row equipment, and I expect a lot more in 2026. It's definitely going to be fun. All right, so my next team is Trackhouse Racing. They have Ross Chastain in the 1, Shane Van Gisbergen in the 97, and the 19-year-old rookie phenom Connor Zillage in the number 88. So just to talk about each driver real quick, starting off with the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain. In 2025, he had one win in the Coke 600 with 4 top 5s, 12 top 10s, led 83 laps with an average finish of 15.8 and an average start of 19th, and finished 10th in the standings. So my expectations for the Watermelon Man in 2026 is to try to improve his qualifying. I mean, when you look at Trackhouse Racing as a whole, I mean, their qualifying has been awful in 2025. I mean, he just needs to perform at a high level based on Saturdays, because if you do that on Saturdays, you're going to perform well on Sundays. And I expect him to be a factor to try to make the chase because, he's Ross Chastain. He's a talented driver. He knows how to win races, and he has the talent. He has the talent to prove what he can do on the racetrack. And I expect him to try to improve with new crew chief Brandon McSwain. So it'll be interesting to see what Ross Chastain can do because, like I mentioned, he's a talented driver. He can win races, just needs to try to put some better qualifying results better on Saturdays. And moving on to his teammate, Shane Van Gisbergen, who had a phenomenal rookie season last year with 5 wins, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and led 312 laps with an average finish of 21st. And my expectations for SVG in 2026, I mean, it's obvious, fellas. I mean, I feel like he's going to continue to stomp everybody on the road courses. I feel like he's going to make that leap to try to be a consistent driver. I mean, now that consistency matters in NASCAR, we bring back the chase where points matter. He needs to try to improve as much as he can on the ovals. I mean, he showed a lot of potential in 2025. I mean, he was getting top 20 finishes. Eventually, they turned into top 15s, and he even got his first career top 10 on an oval at Kansas in the playoffs last year. But yeah, to make the chase, you got to perform well at the ovals and be consistent. So it's not just road courses this year, SVG. I mean, you got to perform on those ovals, and I feel like he's going to have the ability. He's going to have the ability to show what he can do at the ovals because as a race fan, I definitely believe in him. And then last but not least, we got the 19-year-old rookie Connor Zillage, who had a phenomenal Xfinity Series season last year, or O'Reilly season, I should say, putting together 10 wins, 20 top 5s, 23 top 10s with 8 poles with an average finish of 8th, and finished second in the standings to Jesse Love. So my expectations for Connor Zillage in 26, I mean, just like any other rookie guys, learn and grow as much as possible. I mean, I expect him to be a factor at the road courses, and I expect him to try to challenge SVG on the road courses. I mean, when you go back to Xfinity, I mean, it was mainly those guys duking it out for the win, dominating these road course races in O'Reilly. But I feel like in a way, with this next-gen car, he will struggle at the ovals. I mean, I feel like it'll take him some time to learn and get used to. But when it comes to a road course, if he wins in his rookie year, do not be shocked, guys. I mean, I definitely believe in Connor Zillage. We'll try to get it done on a road course, so it'll be fun to see. So that is my lineup for Trackhouse Racing and my expectations.
I know you kind of talked about it, but you mentioned SVG dominating on the road courses. His teammate Zillage. He's another one he's got to keep an eye out for. Zillage is very very strong road course racer. Uh, Raced in the 24-hour Daytona this past week. He's got that experience in driving sports cars, road courses. Something you need to watch out for is Zillage to steal a couple of those wins from SVG. And he's the driver that I'm most excited to watch this year.
Absolutely.
I vividly remember that COTA race. That was he in the 97? It wasn't in the 97. He was in the no, he wasn't in the 90. Was it 87? Whatever cars Connor Zillage was in, he was wheeling that thing, and had the lead, lost the lead. came all the way back, and then Daniel Suarez literally signed his letter of resignation from Trackhouse by wrecking Connor Zilic at Coda. So, yeah, pretty much that we knew it was done at that. But yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
I like you holding your guy accountable, letting SVG know he's got to perform on the ovals. He improved, but I will say, as I always say, he improved from a very low point on the ovals to a very mediocre point. He's got to get a little bit better if he wants to make that chase.
Absolutely.
Moving on, I have Spire. In 2025, they had Justin Haley in the 7, Michael McDowell in the 71, and Carson Hocevar in the 77. Justin Haley finished 31st in the driver standings, 0 wins, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and an average start of 23.1 and an average finish of 22.2. Michael McDowell in the 71 finished 22nd in the driver standings, 0 wins, 3 top 5s, 6 top 10s, an average start of 15.69 and an average finish of 18.19. And Carson Hocevar in the 77 finished 23rd in the standings, 0 wins, 2 top 5s, 9 top 10s, average start of 17.64 and an average finish of 21.58. For 2026, Daniel Suarez will leave Trackhouse. As Ben just mentioned, will come over to drive the 7 car, while Justin Haley makes the move to the Truck Series for Kaulig. I do think Haley got a bad rap, as we've talked about it numerous times here in 2025, losing his crew chief after roughly 7-8 races, first season with that crew chief. So losing that, I do think that hurt him in the 2025 season. McDowell and Hocevar will both return. For 2026, I expect Hocevar to keep showing the flashes that he did show Michigan last year, Atlanta. Keep showing those flashes and finally get that first victory. And then I do look for McDowell to keep showing that consistency and competing at the road courses.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be a very interesting season for Spire. I think the point I want to go ahead and steal from Eric Estep is that I feel like Carson Hocevar is very similar to the narrative around Kyle Larson in his 3rd season in the Cup Series, whereas like he didn't have a win yet. He's not running for top tier equipment, but you can see the talent shining through. Rough around the edges, definitely a lot rougher for Carson Hocevar than Kyle Larson, but Larson had his day too. And then I'm not saying that necessarily he's going to have a Kyle Larson was 2026's 3rd season. I'm not saying he's going to replicate that season, but I think that's the blueprint that maybe we can expect from Spire with a driver so talented running an equipment that is, not quite matching that talent quite yet. It has a couple races where it does, but I'm sure one of the big points for Spire this offseason was to make sure that if they have a car that wins, it does not fail. Easier said than done, but I think that's the big focal point. I'm very interested. Hocevar is obviously going to be. He'll have a month. He'll have a month or two where he probably takes over the sport. Maybe that's because he won a race. Maybe it's because of a lot of close wins. But I think by far it is going to be a very interesting season for him. I'll go ahead and take it over to a much less interesting season at RCR, which just because Richard Childress was a hero in the lawsuit against NASCAR does not make the current state of his Cup Series team any better. Austin Dillon peaked in 2022 and no longer has protection of a playoff system to justify him in his yearly Richmond win. In fairness, his 2025 season was actually better than his 23 or 24 season, but he still would have finished 27th in the points if not for his random rocket ship at Richmond, which is more than Kyle Busch has had since 2023, as he has not had a car capable of winning since Gateway that summer in a couple super speedway races that he finished 2nd. And also I think there's a Darlington race, but regardless, I feel like we all know the move to RCR would accelerate the twilight of the two-time champions career. Good Lord, English is hard. But I'm sure none of us expected it to be this bad. And I'm honestly at a loss of words to what to expect from this team this year. I don't know what changes have they really made outside of maybe Pullman being the new crew chief to really move this team forward. They really there's a lot riding on that. There's been some competition changes, but stuff that happened mid-season last year and didn't really make any instant changes. So maybe with the off season under their belts, that'll help. But regardless, goals wise, my goal for Austin Dillon is to keep up the Richmond win, of course, but also maybe take a good long look in the mirror and ponder that if he continues to run in the bottom half of the field, perhaps it's time to give someone else a chance in the 3 or change the number, because what you're currently doing in that car is offensive to what that number stood for a long time. Kyle Busch in the 8 car, win a race, make the chase. That's a pretty low bar considering who I'm talking about. And that's it. RCR, do right by Kyle Busch, get him back where he belongs, and that's the top of the field.
I think I'm a lot higher on Kyle Busch this year than most people are. I think Jim Pullman moving to that crew chief is a lot bigger deal than some people think it is. Championship winning crew chief. I think that's going to be a very strong move, and I think that's really going to help Kyle this year.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like the new crew chief change. Jim Pullman coming over from Justin Allgaier in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series to crew chief for Kyle Busch in 26. I mean, he's definitely a good crew chief. I mean, he's a championship winning crew chief. Won a title with Justin Allgaier, but I mean, with this next gen car, I mean, Kyle Busch has definitely struggled with it. I mean, he's continuing to struggle to try to find a feel for it. I mean, I know he had momentum late in the season last year, but it's up in the air for Kyle Busch. I mean, hopefully it works out for him with this new relationship with Pullman, but it'll be interesting to see. But with Austin Dillon, just to rattle on him real quick, I mean, obviously, I expect him to be strong at Richmond, but I mean, Colton, you made a good point. Like, if he runs like mid pack, I mean, finishes low in the standings, maybe it's time to give somebody else a ride in that 3 car, or like you said, change the number. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that 3 car can just find some more speed. But moving on to my other team, I have Team Penske and the Wood Brothers. So we'll start off with Team Penske first. We have Joey Logano returning in the number 22. We have Ryan Blaney in the 12, and we have Austin Cindric in the number 2 car, and Josh Berry, who's affiliated with Penske with the Wood Brothers, is back for another ride in the number 21. But just to talk about Joey Logano here first, his 2025 stats, he had 1 win at Texas, 7 top 5s, 13 top 10s with an average finish of 15.3, and finished 7th in the standings. And my expectations for Joey Logano in 2026, I mean, it's an even year, fellas, so I expect him to continue to have that even year magic. I mean, he's a 3-time champion, all in even years. I mean, 2018, 2022, 2024. But I expect this to be a bounce back season. I mean, he will contend for some wins, and I feel like he needs to improve his consistency on the track. I mean, throughout the beginning of last year and up until the summer before the playoffs, I mean, we know how this team was so inconsistent, but now that the chase is back, I mean, consistency is going to be a big thing. And I feel like Logano, he's going to be ready. He's going to be motivated to try to be more consistent than he was last year. And like I said, even year magic, I feel like he's going to be a threat in the chase this season. I mean, it would not surprise me one bit. All right, moving on to his teammate, Ryan Blaney. Let's talk about his stats from last year. He had 4 wins, 15 top 5s, 19 top 10s, led 852 laps with an average finish of 14.6, and had a total of 8 DNFs and finished 6th in the standings. So my expectations for Ryan Blaney in 26 is to be a top championship contender. I mean, now that the chase is back, I mean, I'm sure he was one of the drivers that was really, really excited that we now have this format, because consistency matters, and he is one of the most consistent drivers in the Cup Series today. I mean, I expect him to build off that momentum in 2025, be one of the most consistent drivers, like I mentioned, reduce the number of DNFs. That's definitely going to be beneficial, because he definitely had a lot, like I mentioned, 8. But throughout the season, now that consistency matters, I mean, he cannot afford DNFs because points matter, and I feel like he's going to contend for a lot of wins. And yeah, he's definitely going to be one of the drivers to beat this year. It would not surprise me one bit. And to talk about Austin Cindric, the final Penske driver, he had 1 win last year at Talladega, 2 top 5s, 8 top 10s with an average finish of 20.8, And my expectations for Austin Cindric in 26 is I feel like he's going to continue to be the best driver on the super speedways, or one of the best, I should say. But now that winning you're in is done, and you can't just be good on super speedway, Cindric. I mean, he needs to make a leap on the intermediate tracks. I mean, we saw flashes last season. I mean, he led laps at Texas. I believe he led over 60. He led laps at Las Vegas. He led the second most laps at the Brickyard 400 last year. So there is potential there for the 2 car to try to improve on these intermediate tracks, because you can't just be good on super speedways, expect to win one of those, and then boom, you're in the playoffs. No, man, you got to be consistent. But he needs to match his speed compared to Blaney and Logano, and he's going to be motivated this year because he's in a contract year with Penske. I mean, he may not be back in the 2 car in 2027, so we'll have to see how he performs. But I'm not going to give up on Cindric to try to improve on these intermediate tracks because, like I said, he showed flashes. So we'll just have to see in 26. All right. Last but not least, we got the Wood brothers, Josh Berry. He had 1 win, getting his first career win last year at Las Vegas with 3 top 5s, 8 top 10s, led 207 laps, but with 9 DNFs, with an average finish of 21.6 and finished 16th in the standings. So, I mean, even though it was an up and down type of year for Josh Berry in 25, but in a way it was momentum. I mean, I expect him to try to build off that momentum from last year. I mean, be a factor on the short tracks. I mean, we know the type of short track racer that he is, and I feel like he's going to continue to bring speed to the tracks and try to get better results and finish races. I mean, in the playoffs last year, he had the speed, but he just had a miserable first round. I mean, he was crashing out early, not getting the results, and ultimately led him to being eliminated from the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, if he gets career win number 2 this year, I mean, it would not be surprising because I believe in Josh Berry. He's a talented race car driver. He shows a lot of flashes. He shows great speed, but he just needs to clean up those 9 DNFs and try to finish races. And I feel like if he does that, he and the Wood brothers, they're going to put together a solid season. But that is Team Penske and Wood brothers expectations from me.
I love it. You're holding your drivers accountable thanks to the chase. It will not be just a super speedway win to get Austin Cindric in. It's going to take consistency, and I want to also add to the Ryan Blaney thing. You mentioned his 8 DNS, which I forgot it was that high. 3 or 4 of them were probably races he could have won. I mean, I remember Phoenix, I remember Homestead. Off the top of my head, were 2 races he had won. It just had an absolute rocket ship, and the engine just failed on him. So that's something that they also need to clean up. Is when he has that fast car, don't just at the expense of a blown engine. Let's try and have race winning speed, but also race finishing speed as well. And then on your point on Josh Berry, I also think that while it was a very ugly season for Josh Berry, I think a lot of it was out of his control. A lot of it was part failures, just like Blaney had to deal with. I remember the brake failure late in the season. I think there was even an engine failure, suspension, something like that. So I think that's the other key for Josh Berry and Wood Brothers is to clean up the off the track issues and just leave it in the hands of Josh Berry. He still had a pretty solid counting stats season on outside of what the DNFs held back from. So I'm curious what he looks like if he can get a full year with good equipment.
Josh Berry was the one that I was most disappointed in last year. I was expecting him to be a stronger force to deal with on the short tracks. Grew up short track racing. That's where Dale Jr. ultimately found him. Short track racing got him into NASCAR, and I just didn't see that there on the short tracks as much as I expected to in 2025. If he can get back to his short track roots, saving tires, and being consistent, showing speed on the short tracks, I can see Josh Berry having a good year. But I just didn't see that in 2025. I hope we can see that again in 2026. And moving on to 2311. In 2025, they had Bubba Wallace driving the 23, Riley Herbst driving the 35, Tyler Reddick driving the 45, and then they had the 67 with a couple different drivers, mostly Corey Hahn. 2023 or 23, Bubba Wallace finished 11th in the driver standings with 1 win, 6 top fives, 14 top tens, an average start of 15.44, and an average finish of 18.5. The 35, Riley Herbst, finished 35th in the driver standings, 0 wins, 0 top fives, 0 top tens, an average start of 26.97, and an average finish of 26.39. Then you had the 45 of Tyler Reddick, finished 9th in the driver standing with 0 wins, 7 top fives, 14 top tens, an average start of 12.19, and an average finish of 14.47. The same drivers will be returning for 2026. With all the lawsuit behind this team, I do look for Reddick and Bubba to extend on last season's performance, and I do look for Reddick to get back in victory lane. I do think this new playoff format helps both drivers with consistency. They can focus more on consistency instead of pushing hard for the win. And for Herbst, I look to see him finally crack the top 10. That is my goal for him for 2026. When we do this next year, at least have something on there besides an average finish of 26. Give me a top 5, at least one top 5, one top 10.
Hey, top 5's asking a lot there, buddy.
I mean, all you be in the right spot at the right time in Daytona, Talladega, you can click off one lucky one. And then they will have Corey Heim driving select races in the 67, as he does not have a full-time ride in 2026, which is the biggest understatement, which is the biggest problem I see with NASCAR currently. And that is what I got for 2311.
Yeah.
2311. Yeah, absolutely travesty that Corey Heim does not have a full-time ride. And it's like, it's just the one thing of, you know, you got necessarily the Toyota support, but you just don't have the Joe Gibbs support. So I just, as I've always said, when this topic comes up, I hope Corey Heim goes scorched earth and makes Joe Gibbs regret it for the rest of his life, and Ty Gibbs as well. So
all stemming back from an ARCA dispute between Corey Heim and Ty Gibbs.
Yeah,
because every ARCA dispute has real world ramifications for the rest of your life.
Yep. But just to say something about 2311 real quick. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely disappointing that Corey Heim does not have a full-time ride. I mean, with the ARCA debate with Ty Gibbs, like we talked about, that's definitely disappointing. But I definitely expect him to show some flashes in that 67 car. I mean, he scored his first top 15 at Kansas last year. He scored a 6th place finish at Bristol. So he's showing potential what he can do, what he can do in this next gen car as a race car driver. I mean, he's definitely way better than Riley Herbst. And I expect Tyler Reddick to try to get back in victory lane. I mean, it was obviously a down year for that group. I mean, everything going on with the lawsuit, but I feel like this is going to be a bounce back year for Tyler Reddick and also Bubba Wallace. I mean, down the summer stretch, I mean, after that Brickyard 400 win, I mean, he was one of the most consistent drivers going into the playoffs. I mean, he was looking like he was going to be a Final Four sleeper, and I feel like with that consistency last year, now that we brought the chase back, I mean, I feel like that's going to be beneficial for this race team this year. I mean, I feel like we're going to see a lot of good things out of Bubba Wallace, and it's definitely going to be fun to watch. But I mean, I feel like this is going to be the last year we see Riley Herbst in that 35 car.
We could only be so lucky.
God, yeah. I hope so. Yeah. To wrap up with Bubba Wallace, he was his boss not walling him away from the round of 8. So moving on though to Roush, a much better driver boss, Brad Keselowski. The 2025 was no question a disappointing year for Roush. No wins, no playoff appearances, just a very consistent year from Buescher in the 17 camp, a breakout campaign from Ryan Preece in the 60, and a roller coaster ride for Brad Keselowski in the 6. And the roller coaster looked like this. Anyways, Buescher finished the season tied for the 7th most top 10s and sported the 6th best average finish in the field, proving why we needed this system to be abolished. Preece, 3 top 5s, 14 top 10s. Both were just one short of his career stats entering the season, and his 15.7 average finish was 5 spots higher than any other average finish given in a given season in his career. Brad Keselowski had an abysmal start to 2025, sitting as low as 32nd in the points after Mexico race 16, not getting a top 10 until race 13 at Charlotte. But Brad proved that hard work can make a nightmare season into a solid one. The 6 car finished 20th in the point standings, netting 6 top 5s and 13 top 10s on the year. However, looking ahead for 2026, it's a little shaky. The rumors have already started that this may be the last in his Hall of Fame career, and this is largely based on the injury that the unfortunate broken leg that he suffered on a ski trip on ice, not even on his skis, over a month ago now. So I will go ahead and take a look at the precedent for this injury because there's a few recent examples here, actually. Tony Stewart had a similar injury in 2013, and please correct me, Bull, never really felt like the same after that injury. I know there was other factors off the track that contributed to that, but I do think that had to be a factor in it. Kyle Busch, he missed 11 races with a broken leg in 2015 and then won a championship. This is obviously the outcome that Brad is looking for. Chase Elliott recently did it in 2023, and I have to say, he honestly has not fully returned to form. I would argue there's other factors like the next gen car not being his cup of tea, but he did have 5 wins the season prior in the next gen car. So he is still winning. He is a very consistent driver, but he hasn't quite been Chase Elliott that I know since he's had that injury. Chase was 27 when he had his injury. Kyle Busch was 30. Tony was 42, and Brad is 41, will be 42 by the 500. So I think age plays a huge factor in the recovery process here, and it is also largely based on individual, your health and whatnot. But all in all, if this is truly Brad's final season, I think his goal should be to find victory lane at least one more time, if not more. And if he's granted the broken leg like superpowers that Kyle had in 2015, who knows? Maybe we get Brad's second championship. Just kidding, though. Chris Buescher in the 17. The object for the 17 team is very clear. Win a damn race. This team is incredibly consistent at all types of tracks, but Buescher has proven when he is given a car capable of winning Richmond, Michigan, you name it, he can bring it home to victory lane, and they need to focus on that top 5 speed. But be careful. Don't just give up your consistency that you have. You need to find a way to keep that consistency, but have tracks where you can win races or find consistent top 5 speed. But if you ask me, I think Buescher, furthermore, should be competing for a championship, even more so now that the trophy is not reliant on solely wins. But he will still need wins if he wants to make it deep into the chase. I almost said playoffs. Ryan Preece will wrap it up here. Get that first career win, make the chase. I think that's a pretty attainable goal for him, and I expect improvement on his first season with Roush. I think the goal overall for RFK is to officially reestablish yourself as title contenders. They've teased it over the past couple of years, but let's stamp that. Let's make 2026 the year RFK is back at the front of the field, back amongst the top teams in the sport. And, a big step in that would be to win some damn races.
I completely agree with you. Buescher and Preece, I love watching those two. I love Preece grew up racing, working on his own equipment. Just his story is what makes me enjoy watching him. Short track and ain't afraid to use the bumper on you. He is one that I expect, and I do expect Buescher to be being competitive and competing for that championship this year. I think last year they had a little rough stretch, but I do think this year he's going to get a couple wins and be right there in contention for that championship.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting a lot of things out of RFK this year. Ryan Preece, he had a solid or I wouldn't say a rookie season. Had a good first year with RFK. He showed a lot of flashes. Was getting consistent finishes, and I feel like going into this year, he's going to turn that consistency into wins. And I feel like just based on his background, he's a great short track racer. I think he's going to show a lot of flashes on the short track, so it would definitely not be surprising to see. But Chris Buescher, he was really consistent last year, putting together a lot of top 10 finishes. But that goal is to get back into victory lane this year, in my opinion. Now that this chase format is back, I mean, he was one of those drivers that I think could be a threat for the championship, and definitely expect him to try to win some races this year. And yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to watch. And I feel like this is going to be a turnaround year for Chris Buescher to get back into victory lane. But Brad Keselowski as well. I mean, I definitely feel like that Brad, he's going to turn the page from last year, and he's going to try to get back into victory lane too. I mean, it would definitely not surprise me one bit.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is Brad's last year, even without the injury.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
Moving on to my final team, I got Joe Gibbs Racing. Last year had Denny Hamlin in the 11, Chase Briscoe in the 19, Christopher Bell in the 20, and Ty Gibbs in the 54. Denny Hamlin finished second in the driver standings, should have won it. 6 wins, 14 top fives, 18 top tens, an average start of 11.94, and an average finish of 13.97. Chase Briscoe in the 19 finished third in the driver standings, 3 wins, 15 top fives, 19 top tens, an average start of 9.92, and an average finish of 12.67. And Christopher Bell in the 20 finished fifth in the driver standings, 4 wins, 13 top fives, 22 top tens, average start of 12.89, and an average finish of 11.19. And finally, Ty Gibbs in the 54. Finished 19th in the standings, the goose egg in wins, 5 top fives, 10 top tens, average start of 13.56, and an average finish of 17.86. All 4 drivers will be returning for 2026, and I do expect them to continue that same type of performance from last year. And I do expect Ty Gibbs to finally get that victory he missed out on and not be the longest driver in Joe Gibbs history without a win. I do expect Hamlin and Briscoe to continue their performance and be competing with the championship along with Bell after the second and third place finish last year. With finishing 3 drivers in the top 5 is a pretty phenomenal performance, and I do expect that to continue.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, just talk about JGR. I mean, based on that performance in 2025 from all those drivers, I mean, well, specifically Briscoe, Bell, and Hamlin. But yeah, I definitely feel like going into 26, they're going to continue that momentum. And with the chase, I feel like these guys are going to be consistent. They're going to be showing up to the track with speed. They're going to compete for some wins, and they're going to be up there in points to be championship threats. I mean, it's definitely going to be fun to watch. But I feel like with Ty Gibbs, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on him this year because based on what his teammates did last year, I mean, he didn't perform up to that level. I mean, the pressure on him is to try to get that first career win, and yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to watch for sure. But I definitely feel like JGR, they're going to be really fun to watch.
You know, interesting point to be made about JGR and kind of Toyota as a whole. Toyota and JGR only have 2 championships. Those championships come from Kyle Busch. And JGR as a whole obviously has more than that. Tony Stewart won 2. Bull will tell you about that. Bobby Labonte got one at the turn of the century. But I mean, these are guys that kind of just you think as staples in the championship conversation, but really, Toyota hasn't won one since Busch in 19, and Toyota got one with Martin Truex Jr. in 17. I almost forgot about that one, but hard to forget that one. A stage winner MTJ. But it's just an interesting conversation to have. Penske and Hendrick have owned the championship in this century. Is this the year that Joe Gibbs finally reclaims a championship? Almost had it last year. I was obviously should have, but shouldn't have, depending upon your side of the fence. But yeah, it's just an interesting little thing I noticed in research for this. But let's talk about the team that won the championship last year. That would be that of good old Hendrick Motorsports. If I can find the top of my notes here. There we go. I don't really have to go too much into detail about them. I mean, Kyle Larson, 2025, we all know how that ended. He also did tie for the most top 5s and top 10s in the sport. He won the championship regardless of whether it was playoff or if it was a chase or if it was a regular season format. And then Willie B, he did his thing. He won another Daytona 500 back to back, coming up short, but getting another Final Four appearance. Nothing more you can really ask from the 24 camp. And then the 98, I got a little bit, 48, I got a little bit more to talk about. They left a little bit more to be desired. As a Chase Elliott fan, I'd really appreciate it if he could win some more. I do love the historic consistency he showed throughout 2025, sporting a 12.6 average finish, best on the team, and going a large majority of the season without DNFing. But Chase is well on his way to becoming a Hall of Famer, sure. But I feel like trapped somewhere in there is a multi-time champion. I am just waiting for that to come out. And now I want to get on to my soapbox about Alex Bowman, because y'all are hating on him way too damn much. Did he disappoint last season? Absolutely. Was that all of his fault? No. Jeff Gordon has been public about Hendrick letting the 48 team down and did something about it this offseason. He made changes to everything but Bowman, the driver, Blake Harris, the crew chief, and Kevin Hamlin, the spotter. Do you think if Hendrick would do that, if they didn't feel there were things out of the core group's control holding them back? Probably not. I understand probably most of these changes are made to prepare for Hocevar next season, but hopefully this at least puts Bowman in a place where he can get a quality ride down the line. And if you think Bowman is bad, I would love to hear your thoughts on Tyler Reddick, who went winless last season and had just one more top 5 than Bowman, 2 less top 10s. One is labeled as one of the worst Hendrick drivers of all time, which is an absolutely insane statement that I did in fact see on Twitter. Just take a look at Casey Kane, Casey Mears, Brian Vickers, Joe Nemechek, all those guys, and you won't find anything close to what Alex Bowman has done in his 8 years here. And most of them didn't even last that long. And yeah. Then one is labeled a star. That is Tyler Reddick, of course. But enough of my Bowman rant. Looking ahead to 2026, he just needs to justify all the changes made behind the scenes, win multiple races, finish as well as top 10 in the points. And honestly, I think his seat is safe. But I do agree, based on his performance the past 3 years, his seat should be a little hot. But whoever tweeted yesterday that he's the worst Hendrick driver of all time, I know it's rage bait. You got me. Kyle Larson in the 5. It's very simple. Chase championship number 3. Become the first back-to-back driver since Ben, who was the last person to win back-to-back championships?
The GOAT, Jimmy Johnson.
Okay. Chase Elliott, win. Please, I need more wins. We can't just be doing this 1 to 2 year wins, 1 to 2 wins a year thing. But they named this postseason after you. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. And you got to prove you're the ultimate Chase. You got to beat Chase Briscoe. You want to let Chase Briscoe win a championship in the Chase before you? Come on. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Main Crush Monday.
But I don't have to tell you what Hendrick goals are for this year. They're the same they have been since I was born. Before I was born, win a championship. All 4 drivers are capable of doing that. All 4 teams are capable of doing that. And that is the standard I set for them this year.
I pretty much think Hendrick's pretty straightforward. I think the seat for Bowman is a little hotter than you do. I think, yes, they did make some changes. And I think that was kind of to prove how hot that seat was, that if you can't get it done even after this, it's time for you to go. So I do expect that seat to be very hot. And the rest of the other 3, there's not much else to say except for they're going to be running for the championship, especially in this new format. So I think it's pretty safe.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Larson, Byron, and Elliott, I mean, those guys have been really, really consistent. I mean, they put together a great 2025 season, and yeah, now that we got the Chase, I mean, there's no question they're going to be championship caliber drivers. I mean, I can definitely see Kyle Larson being the first back-to-back champion since Jimmy Johnson. I mean, he was one of the most consistent drivers. I mean, William Byron's really consistent. I expect him to do his same thing. I mean, he's on pace to get a three-peat at the Daytona 500, so that'll be definitely fun to watch. But throughout the season, I expect him to win a lot of races, be consistent, show the speed, and the same with Chase Elliott. But when it comes to Alex Bowman, I mean, I definitely feel like that 48 with that 48 car, it's his seat is definitely hot for sure. I mean, just based on what his teammates did last year. I mean, but don't get me wrong, Alex Bowman, he's a talented race car driver. I mean, I feel like he has the ability to go out there and perform, win some races, and the fact that people are saying that he's the worst Hendrick Motorsports driver in the history, that's people. You need to do your research. I mean, there was a lot more. Say that again. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, like you mentioned, Colton, a couple drivers, Casey Mears and did you say Casey Kane? I'm sorry.
I did say Casey Kane.
Yeah,
I don't think he's the worst driver in Hendrick Motorsports history. I did say Joe Nemechek and Brian Vickers as well. Those are more accurate. But I will fight people in that Casey Kane is a worse fourth driver than Alex Bowman. I will fight people on that.
but yeah, but I expect Bowman to try to turn that luck around and be up there with his teammates. I mean, I feel like he has the ability to do it, and it's definitely going to be fun to watch for sure. But people, at the end of the day, do your research. I mean, there was Casey Mears, Brian Vickers. Alex Bowman is not a terrible driver at Hendrick Motorsports. Bowman hate is for real. I mean, it's crazy.
It's to the point that Chenry just wants him to go to Kaulig so he'll be the flagship driver for Dodge, and I don't really blame him. Like, it's disgusting out there. But Ben, I think next up we got your fly the flag, so I'll let you take it away.
All right, here we go. Oh, just gotta find them in my notes here real quick. There we go. All right, guys. So first question in the fly the flag segment: Bubba Wallace will be a championship contender in 2026. Colton, what do you got?
I'm going green flag, honestly. I think he made leaps in his first season under a new crew chief that I think will continue to grow upon as that relationship gets better and better. I think that's the thing that that benefits a lot of drivers is getting that consistency and that repertoire. So yeah, I'm going green flag. I think he will be a top 10 in the point standings driver, even as high as top 5 if everything goes right for him.
All right, I like it. Bull, what do you got?
I'm actually going to surprise some people, and I'm going to go yellow flag. I think he'll be in the chase, but I don't think. I think he needs another year or two before he's up there competing with Larson, Byron, Hamlin, Briscoe. I think he needs another year or two, get more experience with that crew chief, and get more consistent results. He is kind of lose his head sometimes when
Mhm.
so get
Sure.
rid of that, get a
Very
little
true.
more consistency in relationship, and I think in a couple of years, yeah, with the chase, I do think that benefits him a lot.
All right, all right. For myself, I'm going to go green flag. I mean, just based on what we saw in the summer of 2025 up until the playoffs, I mean, he was arguably one of the most consistent drivers. I mean, he was top 3 for sure, but I definitely believe Bubba Wallace will be a championship threat in 2026. I mean, I feel like he's going to win multiple races and he's going to build off that Brickyard 400 win from last year and just that consistency and that speed into 2026. So it's definitely going to be fun to watch. All right, my next one is Connor Zillage and SVG will be the next great rivalry in NASCAR. Colton, what do you say to that?
I go red or not red flag, but yellow flag. I think they will be a rivalry in NASCAR, but I think in order for it to be the next great rivalry in NASCAR, we need some championship implications. I think the biggest implications will be on road course race wins. I think they'll be a really fun rivalry to watch, but I'm not saying I wouldn't go greatest.
Okay,
I'm gonna
Bull,
go.
what do you got?
I'm gonna go yellow as well. I think Colton pretty much summed it up. They're just gonna be racing for a few road course wins, battling back and forth, but not championship implications.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you guys. I think I'm going to go yellow flag. I mean, you pretty much said it. I mean, I think that we're going to see a lot of battles between them, battling for the win at the road courses, but to battle for championships, I feel like that's going to take some time. I mean, but we'll just have to see down the road. And excuse me. My third question is Kyle Larson will finally break through on a super speedway and win this year. Colton, what do you got?
Yellow because the doors obviously. I'm not going to say red that it's not going to happen because it can always happen. It's super speedway. You think Cody Ware could win it? I mean, anybody could really win it. Uh, so yeah, I think that's that. I do think Kyle Larson has improved over the past year. You've seen that definite improvement, but I think at the end of the day, it's really just a not Russian roulette, but a roulette wheel that whoever happens to be at the front at the end gets the win. That's Daytona for you.
That's most races, Colton.
Nah.
I'm gonna go red flag. We haven't seen him do it. He's 90% of the time, if you look, he's in the big wreck. And I think what hurts him is he is so aggressive, and I think that plays a big factor into that. So I'm gonna go red flag.
All right. Yeah, for myself, I was kind of going back and forth between green and yellow, but I think, you know what, I'm going to go with the green flag. I mean, I feel like he's improved the last couple of, or he's improved the last couple of years. I mean, we saw it last year, especially. I mean, he came close to winning at Atlanta. He came close to winning at Talladega in the playoffs last year, but ultimately ran out of fuel down the back straightaway. So I feel like they're going to build off that momentum from 2025 into 26, and I feel like he's going to be up at the front at the end of a lot of these races. And who knows, he might pull out a win. But I definitely believe Kyle Larson. He's starting to flip that page a little bit, starting to get more comfortable in the super speedways. So I'm going green flag. And then my last question is, SVG will make the chase this year. Colton, what do you got?
Reddest of flags on that one. He has to make the top 16 in points in order to make the chase. He was 25th in the points with 5 wins already going into the playoffs last year. So will it be higher than that? Probably, but I don't anticipate that much of an improvement.
Okay. Bull, what do you got?
I'm also going to go red flag. I just don't see the enough improvement on the road courses. Yes, he's going to be in contention to win every road course, but the oval performance is just not there where it needs to be.
Yeah. For myself, I'm going to go yellow flag. I mean, obviously he's going to dominate at the road courses this year. I feel like he's going to rack up a lot of wins, but winning your end's not a thing anymore. So he needs to be consistent on the ovals, like I mentioned in my Trackhouse segment. But I definitely feel like there's potential there. I mean, he's getting better each and every week at the ovals. I mean, he's turning those finishes into top 20s, top 15s, top 10s. And I feel like he's going to show some flashes this year on the ovals. And I feel like that's going to be beneficial towards making the playoffs. So I'm going to go green flag, and that wraps up Fly the Flag this week.
I think there's a better chance his teammate Zilich makes the playoffs before he does.
I would agree.
Really? Interesting.
I would agree. Because I think Zilich is also going to maybe siphon off a win or two from SVG next year. I guess that's a little prediction for my bold predictions, but we'll spoil that a little bit. But let's go ahead and get into our 16 chase drivers. Ben, since you just talked, I'll go ahead and start it off, and then I'll let you go, and then Bull. So my 16, chase drivers. It's pretty self-explanatory till we get to the end here, I think. We got Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher. Gets a little iffy here. Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Josh Berry, and Eric Jones is my 16th driver in the chase. I'm really high on the Justin Alexander hiring for Eric Jones, really high on Eric Jones as a whole. I think he could get a win or two. Probably just a win, but I think he can be very consistent, kill him with consistency. He finished like 24th in the points, even with his 60-point deficit. I think otherwise he would have been around that top 20. I think he takes another step this year and brings legacy back into playoff contention. Josh Berry, I'll talk about those 9 DNFs that we mentioned back at the Wood Brothers section. I don't think he will DNF 9 times this year. I don't think that's the type of driver he is. I think that was indicative of the team that he had and where he was at. I think it'll be all-around improvement this year. I think he was borderline without those DNFs. He would have been a borderline top 16 driver in the points. So I think we get to figure that out this year, maybe a win or two, especially at the short track. So that's Josh Berry. And I put Kyle Busch in there. I think Ty Gibbs is pretty much a given. I think he will improve on last year, and he was already in the top 16. So, but then with Kyle Busch, not so much a given, but I do think the 2-time champ will figure it out. I don't know how, but I think he will figure it out to get in the top 16.
All right.
It's hard trying to keep up with that and trying to figure out where we're different at. Trying to figure out who you got in, where I got in, and see where we're both different at.
All right. So my drivers in no particular order. I got Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, Shane Van Gisbergen, and my 16th and final driver, Kyle Busch.
Woo!
I got faith.
Okay.
He's gonna improve on the ovals. He's motivated going into 26. He's not just thinking road courses. I mean, true, but he's going to be motivated.
You don't think Riley Hurst wants to figure out how to run better at ovals?
Spoiler alert, I do not have SVG in the chase.
Let's hear it.
No particular order. I got Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, Carson Hocevar, Chris Buescher, and Ryan Preece.
Okay. Carson Ostervark is the main one that stood out to me. You got any rebuttal for that?
I think he showed flashes last year. Just thinking about that Michigan race, he should have won. I do think he's going to show more flashes like that this year. And just like we talked about earlier, there is going to be a month in the season where he just takes over. And I think whether it's by a couple wins or whether it's top 5 consistent points. Last year, I think what caused some of the issues when he was showing speeds was trying to get those wins. Now, instead of pushing for that win, he just settled for second place finish or third place finish and be in the right spot. And you never know, that could lead to being in the right place, right time, could lead to him getting that victory.
I think that's the really interesting caveat that we're going to have is we're going to figure out a lot about these drivers from going from the transition to just needing a win to make it deep into the season and now needing that consistency. What drivers will adjust their – you mentioned Kyle Busch as a driver you felt would adjust his style to not be going for the wins, or maybe I read that somewhere. But, Kyle Busch and Carson Hocevar, they have been pushing the equipment to the limit to try and get these wins. They don't have to do that as much. They can settle for that top 5. And I know Carson Hocevar is kind of the driver that probably doesn't care and just wants to get that win, but it is something that gives them a little more to think about. Bubba Wallace as well, not having to push for those wins as much and just get the top 5s that really could have benefited him over the past couple of years. So it'll be really, really interesting to see the change. I think Ross Chastain's another one that I'll get to here in a minute as one that I think will benefit from this as well.
And just like I mentioned, if you're in the right spot at the right time, how many times have we seen a leader run out of fuel, blow a tire, something like that? Just be in the right spot.
Pit crew issues, speeding, penalty,
loose tire. All you have to be is in contention, and you have a chance to get a victory on every race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think that's going to be the interesting shift for sure, especially with Penske having literally focused on short tracks for the past 3 to 4 years. I'm curious to see that shift from all 36 races.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But let's go ahead and move on down to our bold predictions. Ben has a big amount, 9, I think he said. So we'll break it up. We'll have Ben do 2, then me and Bull will do 1, and then back to Ben to do 2. And obviously we'll talk about each bold prediction here.
All right. So my first 2 predictions in 2026, gentlemen. I think Connor Zillage will win and defeat SVG on a road course this year. I mean, he's a 19-year-old rookie, but he is a road course sensation. I mean, we've known that ever since he got into NASCAR. I mean, he has a great road racing background. I mean, from ARCA, the Xfinity Series, of course, where he dominated. And who did he beat in the Xfinity Series on road courses? SVG. And I feel like now that at 19 years old, he's taken that step to being a Cup driver, I feel like those guys, they're going to be duking it out a lot this year on the road courses for wins. And eventually, Connor Zillage, I feel like he's eventually going to break through at 19 years old to get that first Cup Series win in his rookie year. And my second bold prediction, so I said Ryan Preece, 2025, he put together a solid season in his first year with RFK, and I feel like he's going to turn that momentum into wins. So he's not only going to get one, I feel like he's going to get 3 wins this year in 2026. And I feel like with consistency, I feel like Ryan Preece, he's definitely a consistent driver, and I feel like he's gonna take a big leap this year. I feel like so. He's a talented race car driver. He's in the best equipment that he's ever had in his NASCAR Cup Series career. This guy can win some races. I definitely believe in him, especially on the short track. So it would not surprise me one bit.
Ben understood the assignment when we said bold predictions. I love it. This is just the first two. I'll go ahead and give one that that Ben already said that I have, and that's that Connor Zilisch will actually win 2 races. I said specifically 2. I think they'll both be road courses. But I think he'll get 2 wins in his rookie year, being the first driver to do that since God knows how long ago. And then the other one I'll share is I think Ty Gibbs will finally shut up Bull this season and capture his first career win, which Bull also predicted. So he kind of stole my thunder on that one. But yeah, that's my 2. Wait, I was only supposed to give 1. Shit. Oh well.
So
just give 1.
So I'm going to take your alls and make it even more bold. I don't think either one of you are wrong. I think Zilisch is going to have more wins than SVG in 2026.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. You were trying to downplay these before the show, acting like they weren't hot. I think that's a scorching hot take, but I love it.
Because I think
I like it too.
He'll also be in contention to maybe still one at an oval where SVG is not. I do agree. He will beat him for a road course. And then just like I mentioned earlier, be in the right spot at the right time, and you can win any race. So I do think he'll have that advantage as well.
All right. Do you, Ben?
All right. So my next 2. I feel like we're going to see a couple of first-time winners this year, and I feel like Carson Hocevar is finally going to break through to get that first career win in the NASCAR Cup Series. I mean, like we talked about, I mean, he showed a lot of flashes from 2025. I mean, he had an up and down type of year. I mean, bad luck ran his way. I mean, he showed speed, but bad luck got in his way. I mean, I think about the blown engine at the Coke 600, the blown tire at Michigan, like we mentioned. I mean, I feel like this is going to be the year that he finally breaks through to get that first NASCAR Cup Series win. I mean, he's got the talent. He's outperforming that Spire equipment, and I feel like he's going to continue to show a lot of flashes going into 2026, and he's definitely going to break through to get that first career win. I mean, it would not surprise me one bit. And then my next first-time winner, it's got to be Ty Gibbs. I mean, you're going into your 4th year in the NASCAR Cup Series in arguably the best equipment possible in NASCAR, and you still haven't won a race. I mean, I feel like this is going to be the year he finally breaks through to get that first career win. I mean, he's another driver that showed flashes. I mean, he showed flashes at the super speedways. I mean, I think Talladega, he led the most laps, I believe 32, if I can remember at the top of my head, I'm not sure. And he came close to winning at Bristol in the playoffs last year. I mean, he led a total of 201 laps. I mean, ultimately, he didn't get the win, but I feel like this has got to be the year he finally breaks through to get that first career win. I mean, after what his teammates did last year, I mean, they're bringing that momentum into 26. So, buddy, you better get your first win this year.
Yeah, Ben is taking no prisoners this episode. I love it. Since I gave 2, I'll just throw it to you, Bull. Back to Ben.
For my next one, I think Kyle Busch is going to return to his winning ways in 2026 with Jim Pullman coming to be his crew chief and get 3 wins this year.
3 of them. 3 of them. Okay, all right. We're got any tracks off the top of your head, or are we just spitballing here?
I think Pocono, I think he'll be in contention there. That'll be one of them. And I think he'll be in contention at a couple short tracks. Pullman's just one of the best crew chiefs, I think, a championship winning crew chief. If Kyle Busch cannot win with him in RCR equipment, then nobody needs to be driving RCR equipment.
Wow. Okay, that's a bold statement. I like it. We're going bold here. So back to you, Mr. Miller.
All right. So let's see what are my next 2 are. All right. So I think it's hard to pinpoint a driver, but I feel like Front Row Motorsports, they're going to get back to victory lane this year. I mean, it can either be Todd Gillen or Zane Smith. I mean, I feel like these are two young, talented drivers. I mean, we saw it last year from Zane Smith, like we talked about. I mean, he showed a lot of flashes. I mean, he outruns the front row equipment, and he came close to winning at Atlanta last year. So I mean, it would not surprise me one bit. And Todd Gillen, I feel like he's an underrated super speedway racer. I mean, he finished runner up at Talladega last year to Chase Briscoe, and I just feel like not RFK, Front Row Motorsports, they got a good super speedway program, and I feel like in my gut, I just feel like they're eventually going to break through on a super speedway. And my next one, I'm sure you guys are going to get excited for this one. I rambled on this guy a couple of times on he's eventually going to break through on a super speedway. Yeah, Bull, you're giving me that look. I feel like Cody Ware is going to break through to get that first career win on a super speedway this year. Could it be the Daytona 500? I'm not sure, but I feel like he's shown flashes at the end of these super speedways. I mean, he puts himself in position to win. I mean, we saw it in 2024. We saw it, I believe, last year's Daytona 500. He was running up in the top 10 before he got taken out in that big wreck. And he even showed flashes from last year. I mean, 2025, he led 23 laps in last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400. So, I mean, overall, it's going to be a tough year for Cody Ware. But when it comes to the super speedways, y'all better watch out.
This is the first time in human history that anyone has ever said, y'all better watch out, in the context of referring to Cody Ware. I hope you all enjoyed witnessing that. I don't, you're not even wrong. If Cody Ware pulled a super speedway went out of his ass, I wouldn't be surprised. I just think that's more of a statement on the super speedway racing than it is Cody Ware. But yeah, we just witnessed that. So in Ben's universe, we have like 25 different winners this year. I've already lost count. We got a front row winner. We got a Cody Ware winner.
Ty Gibbs and
Hocevar. If you add in Bulls, we got 3 wins over there from Mr. Kyle Busch. A bunch of people who didn't win last year. Maybe there's a bold prediction in there that somebody won't win this year. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I'll go ahead and give you my next bold prediction, and that is Chris Buescher, Mr. Christopher Buescher, will finish top 4 in the point standings. I don't have the confidence to quite give him the championship as a bold prediction. I got somebody else in mind for that, but I do have him finishing top 4 in the points. I think he will be a step up from what he was last year, winning races and finishing in the top 5 more often. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but that's my bold prediction.
I don't think this one's too bold. I kind of mentioned it a little earlier, but Kaulig is going to be the worst organization in Cup this year.
Even worse than RWR?
I think they will.
I could see it. Legacy Motorclub was in a terrible spot when they switched from, or they announced it, but they haven't officially announced it with Chevy technically, but I mean, we all can read a room. I agree. I think Kaulig will look just, and it's a shame because AJ Allmendinger is kind of just getting one of his years wasted, but it's just kind of how it is and how it'll be. Chevy's not going to mess around with that.
And that's what's funny is they're not gonna get any support in Cup, but they're gonna get anything and everything they want in the Truck Series and be competing for a championship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost question. You probably don't want to do this, but like, what if you just shut down Cup Series like for a year? Like, just let obviously it's not going to happen, but like, just let the money. I feel like they're losing money this year for sure in the Cup Series, whereas they could just have focused on the trucks and then make a better effort for 2027 in the Cup. But that's why I'm not the one calling the shots here. But
I was just saying, when they lose but then they're going to lose their charters and have to bounce back. I mean, I guess they could ultimately release them for a year.
Yeah, that's a good point. But Ben, back to you. You've given us quite the lines here to start. What do you got for your next 2?
Yeah. So my next 2, starting with the first one, I think SVG is going to be competitive at the ovals this year. I mean, I know I mentioned it numerous times, but he's shown flashes from last year. I mean, he turned those top 20s into top 15s and top 10s, and I feel like he's going to be much more improved at the ovals this year. I mean, there is a possibility he could be a consistent driver. So I got that's how I stand with SVG going into 2026. I feel like he's going to improve at the ovals. And my next one, I hate to say this to be honest with you guys, but I mean, in a way, I hope I'm wrong. But I feel like Kyle Busch is going to go winless for the third consecutive year. I mean, I know he's got Jim Pullman as his crew chief. I mean, he crew chiefed in O'Reilly with Justin Allgaier, won a championship, so he knows how to win a championship. So, I mean, but in a way, though, just based on how Kyle Busch has looked the last 2 years, I mean, adjusting to this next gen car and RCR is giving him crap every freaking week. I just I in a way I just don't really see it. I mean, as a race fan, I'd like to see Rowdy get back into victory lane, but I mean, I know I like the change with the crew chief. I mean, Jim Pullman, he's a great crew chief. He knows how to win races. He knows how to show up in big moments and win championships, but I just feel like with Kyle Busch the last 2 years going into 26, I just don't see it happening. I just don't see him going back to victory lane.
I think NASCAR is better when we have Rowdy Bush.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't really argue against that. I think he finds a way to victory lane, but I also am not very shocked if he doesn't find victory lane this year. Yeah. So my bold prediction champion is going to be. Does anybody want to take a guess who it might be? Anybody want to take a stab at it?
Um, I would
Ryan Preece.
say I'll say Chris Buescher.
Not quite. I am going with Ross Chastain, who has a new crew chief this year. Brandon
Mm.
McSwain coming over from the 24 camp, William Byron, been at Hendrick for a while, had Willie B at an average start of about 10th, which is something that Ben talked about they need to improve on, knows what it takes to win a championships, I think could unlock Chastain's full potential. I think Chastain has the talent to be in the top five week in and week out. I think his desire to win the race has been what's held him back. I think he can find that this year. I think Trackhouse has also made some moves to hopefully get them back on the track that they seem, no pun intended, to be on originally. So that is my bold prediction champion, Ross Chastain. And I really just picked somebody who nobody could see because that's what bold predictions are all about. The Bull, what do you got?
For my final one, I got that Alex Bowman will not make the chase, and it will be announced that
Oh, get out of here.
Mm.
he
Boo!
is out of the
Oh
seat
boy.
halfway through the season.
What?
Boo! Boo this man! Y'all hating
Yeah.
on Alex Bowman way too damn much. It's okay, Bull. It's a bold prediction. I get it.
Yeah.
You're
All
just
right.
wrong.
But my final excuse me. My final bold prediction, I feel like Ryan Blaney, he's going to have the most wins out of anybody this year. I feel like he's going to rack up 7 wins this year. I mean, now that we got the chase back, I mean, like to me, he's Mr. Consistency. I mean, he's arguably the best consistent driver that we have in the Cup Series, and he put together a 4-win season last year, like I mentioned. And I feel like he's going to take that next step and try to have the most wins out of anybody in the Cup Series. I mean, with this consistency, I can definitely see it happening. So I feel like Ryan Blaney, he's going to have the most wins ever in his Cup Series career. So I got him at 7 wins in 2026.
I really like that take. I think that might be the best bold prediction and most likely bold prediction of them all, to be honest, because I think he could have had 7 wins last year with the speed he showed. Martinsville, I was there. I watched him drive through the field quite a few times. Didn't get the job done, unfortunately, but he's had race winning speed. Unlike anybody else, he's had the ability to make his way through the field, unlike anybody else. And if they keep that magic going there in the 12 camp, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be able to do just as you said, win 7, win more. I don't know. But and with the wins now cost getting you 55 points, that's going to be huge in this season. So I really like that bold prediction from you.
And I feel like he could have done it last year. We kept talking about He had the black cat that ran out in front of him. Anything that could go wrong went wrong last year for that team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. An alternate universe is out there where he probably knocked off 10 wins to be honest, if you ask me. But
20 is impressive.
20 would be, so we started having some Richard Petty conversations if we won 20. But we're not quite there yet. So now we've gotten through all of our bold predictions. It is time to wrap this thing up. Whoever gets this will get some bonus points in the Fast Five. We have confirmed that. I will save mine for last because I don't know. I don't think mine's that shocking, but I just want to. I've been yapping too much. Bull, go ahead. What do you got?
Going first with the 2026 champion, I am actually going to go with William Byron. Of all the drivers in NASCAR, I think the change from the playoffs to the chase is going to help them the most. If you go back to 2025, there was a couple races where he just dominated and could not get the victory, could not end up getting the win. But he was up there running first, second in the top five. Just had that consistent running. If he can keep that up in 2026, I think he's going to be your champion.
I like it. All right. So my preseason Cup Series champion, guys, I'm going to go with the 20 car of Christopher Bell. I mean, I feel like this is going to be another driver that is going to benefit really well in the chase format. Now that consistency matters. I mean, he's definitely going to be one of the drivers to beat this year. I mean, if you go back to the Winston Cup points, I mean, he could have won the last two titles. I mean, that's just how consistent he was. Like, I was going through that on Twitter this morning, and now that consistency matters in NASCAR, we got the chase back. Points are going to matter, not just wins. I feel like this is going to be really beneficial for Christopher Bell in 2026. And, you know, he should have been in contention to win a championship the last 2 years. I mean, now that with the playoff format, he didn't make it to the Final Four the last 2 years. But like I said, now that the playoffs are done, it's history. We're not dealing with that anymore. Consistency matters in NASCAR, and he's finally going to break through. He's in the prime of his career at 31 years old. He's going to show up this year and get that first NASCAR Cup Series championship. So I got C-Bell.
Yeah, that's a really great pick. I honestly probably would have went with that pick. I did not, though, but I think that's a really great point. Bell tied Larson for the most top fives and top tens in the sport last season. Like you said, you'd be a two-time champion if we were still running the Winston Cup format. Obviously, we're not. Another hypothetical win for the non-playoff people. But, yeah, my turn and my champion, my 2026 NASCAR champion, will go to the even year man himself, Joey Logano, because it just feels like, is this not the most Joey Logano thing to do? It's, he can't win it now because you actually have to be consistent in the entirety of the season. Well, what if he does it, becomes a 4-time champion, and shuts up all the haters, becomes a top 10 driver of all time, and just shuts up all of the haters? That just feels like what will probably happen. He's got the new Walter White look. It's all coming together for Joey Logano this year. I think all the signs honestly point to him. And now we got one from each manufacturer actually as our pick. So it's interesting how that worked out. But yeah, Joey Logano, 2026 champion. Cannot wait for 27 when he's not going to be the champion because that's an off year.
I think it's crazy that Kyle Larson didn't get picked.
I thought you would go Larson.
Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
I mean, Chase Briscoe.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to be proven wrong. God, I hope I'm proven wrong. But yeah, is there any closing thoughts? I hope not after an hour and a half of recording we have here. Are there any closing thoughts though on this this preview for the 2026 season that you guys would like to get off your chest before we wrap it up? Ben, go ahead.
I totally forgot to mention this about Cody Ware. Now that I feel like he's going to be a factor at the super speedways. Who knows? I think he can. There is potential he'll break through to get that first win. But I forgot to mention that Ware Racing is now affiliated with Richard Childress Racing. So you know how RCR is at the super speedways. So that'd be something to look out for on at Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Well,
I'm good. I think we've pretty much covered it. We've been going an hour and a half.
yeah.
Yeah.
We will spare you guys any more of our mindless rambling that we call the Slide Job Podcast. Thank you all for listening. Though, be sure to check out our new Twitter at SlideJobX on, of course, X or Twitter as we call it. Be sure to go there. We're posting. Ben and Bull, not we, but Ben and Bull have been posting, doing a really great job of posting on there. So be sure to go give that a follow, and then follow Ben at Ben Miller PXP. Follow Bull at Bull81818, and follow myself at LFC__99. I have been somewhat active on Twitter the past week, so hopefully that stretch continues. We will plan on live streaming, reacting to the Bowman Gray clash. We won't have the broadcast pulled up. We're not trying to get copyrighted strike down, but we will have like a live tracker or whatever on, and we'll be talking about the race. So be sure to come hang out around 7 o'clock on the clash, and then we get a little week off for the season, and then we are going to hit the ground running with the Daytona 500. Super excited for what we have planned for you guys this season. And I'll quit my rambling now. I'll see you guys in the next one, or we'll all see you guys in the next one. Peace.